joining us here on our Thursday evening broadcast. Community and the Constitution. This time of year, we focus on other things besides the law. So we kind of change things up here. So actually, I want to say welcome all to the Country Living Show. This show is for everyone, from the novice to the expert. We can always learn new things. So if you're tired of the rhetoric, let me and my friends from down on the farm share with you the way our Creator intended it to be. We're going to cover such topics as the lawful path to freedom, homestead living, and learning how to truly be a free spirit. That being said, I got a couple of people on the board. Oops, I just lost one. Jesse, you there?
I'm here. How you doing?
All good, sweetheart. How was your week?
It was very good. How was yours?
Good. Busy. Got things growing and popping out of the ground everywhere. Oh, exciting times. Oh, let's see. We got. If you guys are on the board there, please hit the number 1 on your keypad. This way, I know you want to have your mic live and get on air. The caller we just dropped, hopefully they'll call back in there in a minute. They may have just gotten disconnected when I made everything live. Oh, just checking the chat room. Wow, already got a bunch of guests logging in over there on Blog Talk Radio. Thank you for joining us. And, of course, Jesse Hale. And over on Freedom Reigns, look at that. People are dropping in. Welcome all. Thank you for joining us. Anything exciting on your mind that we want to get started with tonight before we get into our bow and arrow topic for this evening?
Not really. I could do that, but no. No, not really. Went out with my boyfriend this week out to a place out on one of the mountains out here, and chicks are already out, so beware. It was not fun. I found 2 of them on my son's head last night when I gave him a bath. I'm like, really? So, no, not good. But other than that, I've had a really eventful week. And I'm actually really excited when I read through this stuff, dude, I sat there and I actually read through all of it, and I almost read through it 3 or 4 times. It was so interesting. It's so full of information. I'm all proud of myself, dude. I'm excited.
Cool. Well, we're excited to hear all about it. We were just kind of delaying here a little bit in the beginning, give everybody a chance to get in. Yep, I got all my...
Put the link through into the chat, dude?
Huh?
Would you like me to put the link through to the chat?
Sure, you can do that. That'd be great. I give people a chance to open something up and follow along if they want with some of the information. Yeah, I got my, what is known as the 3 sisters in the ground and going. I got them in there the other day, and I'm already starting to see them little tips breaking through the ground right now. For those who don't know what the 3 sister is, that goes back to, probably the beginning of time, really. It has to do with what people refer to as our Native American Indians here. It was a process they used and how they taught the colonists to grow. So it's very exciting, and it's not that difficult to do. You simply plant your corn first. You make sure that becomes a good 6 to 8 inches tall. It needs the head start before you add the other 2 seeds to it. And then right next to it on one side and then the other, you put your ground squash. You don't want the climbing squash, the towering plant squash. You want the ones that are on the ground, like the ball ones. I used the oh shoot, I forgot their name already. But they're round and they're ground growers. Yeah, butternut squash. Thank you very much. See that? My wife's passing through and feeding me information already tonight. Drawing blanks tonight. And on the other side, I do my beans, my pole beans. The reason you want to give the corn a head start is this way your beans, as they grow, will actually use the corn stalk as its support system, and it will grow up around the corn stalk. So it's all done in one growing area, which is great. And this is my first year at attempting this. Now, of course, the one thing I did leave out, but that's because I went and tilled up all my soil and got rid of all the sand junk, and we augmented my soil so I can get all the new topsoil and good stuff in there. The thing I left out that the natives did teach the colonists as well was the fertilizing process of that, and that was to bury the fish. You bury a fish underneath, obviously, and then you put your seeds in and go from there. Uh, Today, it's still a great fertilizer. Fish is fantastic fertilizer. If you can utilize that, go ahead and drop a fish in that hole, uh, cover it up a little bit, add your seeds and stuff, and then cover those up. And depending on how deep most of those seeds, your corn and your squash and even the beans, they're about. I think I'm gonna double check my notes because I want to give you the wrong information. I think it's an inch or two deep. I believe that's what the average is for almost all seedings that you do. You don't need to put them too deep. They're usually about, anywhere, they vary anywhere from a half inch to about an inch in depth. And then, of course, you got to check how far apart you want to put those plants. The farthest, or I should say the farthest apart requirement is actually on the eggplant out of the ones that I'm planting so far. And the eggplants require a good 30 inches or better between each seedling. Everything else is pretty much 20 inches, drops down from there. Corn, 15, 18 inches apart. Your strawberries, they can go about a foot apart, the 12-inch mark there. Beans, they can be close. That's not really much of a problem. That's why they're great. They grow up tall. Works perfect with the corn stalks growing up around that. So got all that done, and all my seeds now are in the ground. I got all kinds of things happening and popping up here. I even dropped a couple a little early, maybe some a little bit late, just to see what would happen. But just to give you a little bit of an idea of what I have, this is only my first year, folks, of really cutting into this and doing this. It's not that hard. Doesn't take doesn't take up that much room, especially when you use the three sister method. I currently have 4 rows going. I'll be cutting a 5th one soon, only because I want to do extra potatoes and stuff. I'm actually making a full row of the potatoes. And then onions throughout everything, of course. But right now I currently have my carrots, celery, cauliflower, and broccoli, strawberry, watermelon, eggplant, cabbage, the 3 sisters that I explained to you, tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. They're all in the ground right now. Some probably a little early because some, I guess, like I think it's the broccoli and your cauliflower are more to the winter side of things. But I dropped them in anyway just to see what would happen. You never know. Might get something out of it, might not. It's all, for me, a test on some of those. But it's important. I planted those because those are items that I know my family will eat and enjoy. There are a couple of things that once I get into the canning phase of our crops that you don't can very well. So those things, what I'll do is maybe not plant too much. Keep them on the, what I know I'm going to be able to eat and consume and, share with family and friends. But then I also have the option, of course, of anything that doesn't can, or if I grow too much, I have the market right down the road here, and I can go over there and either sell it right to the vendors that are currently there, or get my own little table for the day once a year and sell my, the day, harvest it the night before, pack it all up into the boxes, and the following morning head on up and lay them out on the table and grab me a couple of bucks, Just don't want to undercut everybody who's there all the time, but just kind of keep the price within a fair range and just, sell it out just to wipe it out. Again, another option for more cash into my pocket, a little bit more cash flow in my pocket, just on the items that will not can. Everything else, of course, will go into my cannery in different recipes, I've just been researching and researching and researching, and thank God for those our friends down there on the farm. Been talking me through on Skype each step of the way, from how to augment my soils to when to get the seeds in the ground, what kind of fertilizers to use, what kind of feed to give it. It just, the list goes on and on and on. And I got notes up the wazoo, and I just been doing it each step of the way. Of course, a couple of things I went off and ventured on my own to try and to, hey, see what happens. You just never know. But it's a lot of fun. The kids get out there, they get involved. You get to see something happening. Some of them I did cheat a little. I bought a couple of plants, starter plants, especially the tomatoes, since they should have been started a long time ago indoors in order to get any kind of tomato crop this year. So I got a little bit of head start on that, and I cheated there. So I got 4 tomato plants that I had bought that were already growing, and had them in the ground. They've been in the ground now. I think we're in our 2nd week. And they're already getting plenty of flower blossoms on it. Matter of fact, I went out there and looked at it this morning, and I already have one little tiny baby tomato that's formed. So that's pretty exciting to see that. And then, of course, my daughter, she went and we got her one of the cherry tomato plants. It's in its own basket. It's in crate, cage. And we got that one, and it was really big. That one's already a couple of feet tall when we bought it, and it's already getting flowers and little tiny cherry tomatoes showing up all over the place on it. So she's really excited about that, and that's great too, to just walk by, grab a couple of them, drop them in your salad, or walk by as a snack. She used to just walk around with a like a zip bag full of them, and just pop them in her mouth all day long. So it's a great quick snack. It's healthy. You know where it came from. You're growing it yourself. If you haven't started your growing yet, folks, it's never too late. You got to get going. Even if you have to get some of the items you're going to have to get, such as tomatoes, you want to get those in a plant if you haven't started them before. Other items, you can still plant seeds. It's not too late to plant seeds, and that's a beautiful thing. The key to everything is, one, first of all, get started. Do anything, something, no matter how small of an apartment you have, or how small your house may be, wherever you're residing, and to how big your backyard may be. You're only limited to your own imagination, even in very small space. With just say a bedroom apartment. You have that balcony, and we talked about that last week. We brought a lot of that information forward. You can grow in pails, just like we have at my daughter's cherry tree there. It's all it needs. It's got a big pot, a cage, snapped right onto the pot itself, and it doesn't have to be transplanted or nothing, and she'll get cherry tomatoes off of that thing all year long. And weather's bad, you can bring it in. Weather's nice, you can put it outside. That's real easy to do. Treat it just like any household plant, but it's going to give you that food. It's going to give you something to put on the plate. Sorry, being interrupted here. Oh, there's one for you. Sorry, babe.
It's all my fault. I'm sorry.
She was looking for something on my desk, and I couldn't find it right away. Whether you're just starting out small, make whatever you're going to make, whatever you're going to grow, what you're going to consume. But you need to start doing something, folks. The prices are going through the roof. We've been keeping an eye on the news. There's all kinds of threats from all angles, from within and without. It's just getting really maddening, I guess is the best way to put it. There's too many things out there to worry about, too many things to distract us, to take us away from the focus, especially with that, that black box hanging on the wall. That television, Well, they call it TV programming. Well, they call it programming for a reason, folks. You're being programmed. Okay. Lamestream media, it's all controlled. You never get the whole side of story of everything. There's just so much that is occurring that you're not going to get. If you start getting more of the truthful information, of course, right away people will start saying, "Oh, you're a conspiracy nut," or you can't prove that, you can't prove this. Those are the type of people that's been so brainwashed they believe nothing but what's on that television. They don't look outside the box, meaning outside that television box. And it's also kept us from uniting. We've been divided within our own households. Divorce has, been on the rise forever. It's just all part of the whole package of what the elitist wants us to focus on and what they want us to direct our attentions at, instead of things that's really truly going to help us. They don't want us growing our own product. They don't want us fending for ourselves, because then that takes the dependency away from them. And that's what's truly is threatening to them. So if you really want to piss them off, if you will, start growing a garden. Stop using FRNs. Just stop. Stop buying. Stop using credit cards and going in debt. Learn to live debt-free. Learn to take control. Take back that self-responsibility. Look in that mirror. Say, that's the only person you have to blame for anything. And why are we so worried about what's going on everywhere else when we can't even take care of what's happening in our own household? And then once you get your household under control, then you can move to your neighbor. And then from there, you branch out to your neighborhood. Okay? All those around you. But if your house isn't in order, folks, if you don't have that solid foundation to build on, you're just building on quicksand, folks. So you're never going to get ahead. You're always going to be behind. Until we can put aside that me, or the, I have to have it today instead of saving for tomorrow, and put it on a, piece of plastic because it's so much it's so easy to run out and do that. And then there's, of course, the argument where, and I use the examples like, I don't have to worry about that. I'm comfortable. I have a good income. I have money in savings. Okay, but are you growing? Do you have food? They're going to look at you like, I can afford to go out to eat every single night. Okay, I can go to the grocery store, buy whatever I want. I have money. Okay, I'm sorry. Have you ever been through a hurricane or a storm or Sandy or anything else, gone into the store? Shelves are empty, folks. I don't care how many millions of dollars you have. Go in to buy food that night because you don't have anything growing or anything stocked up at the house. Guess what? You ain't eating that night. Money doesn't mean a thing, folks. You're going to try to be a free individual, to live free. Free from the madness, free from the government, free lawfully by correcting your status. You have to have a foundation. And no person, man, woman, or child, if they cannot feed themselves, will ever be free. You have to, excuse me, you have to have that solid foundation. You have to be able to feed yourself. Learn to grow something, anything. I'm not saying you got to get into all the craziness, into the canning and into selling and, going the extreme measures. But start something. Right? Anything. A simple, something that's going to be utilized, though. An herb garden. All right? Sprouts. These are things you're going to use in your cooking. And they can be done indoors, whether you got an apartment or not. You know, a little tiny one-room rental room somewhere in a shack sharing a bathroom with 20 other rooms down the hallway. You have enough room to put a tomato plant in the corner. You have enough room to start some sort of herb garden. Okay, there's things you can do. What we're all lacking is because we've been embedded with this indoctrination and brainwashing and dumbing down from the school systems, and just America in general have become so lazy. And that's what we're trying to do. We got to undo lazy. We have to relearn everything. We have to, reprogram ourselves, if you will. Okay? Because until we can do that, until we can stand on our own 2 feet, you're never going to be able to accomplish anything else. Sadly, it's just not going to be, well, you might try to do something else. You may try to work towards freedom and all the other stuff that's out there. But it ain't going to last because you don't have that solid foundation. Like I said, it's like building on quicksand. People new to the movement, people new to lawful status and freedom, they get hungry. They get real hungry. They want the information. They want to correct their status yesterday. It can't be done, folks. There are steps. And I don't mean the steps that are in doing the process itself. Doing the process, that's the easy part. Okay? That's easy. Takes about 90 days. Boom, you're done. Not a problem. But learning how to remain free, that's the key. Learning how to fend for yourself. Because when you correct your status, you don't have all those other options. You don't have Social Security card anymore. You don't have all those entitlements and benefits. You don't have a bank account with use of your Social Security number. We covered that in the last show. My wife told y'all, you don't need a Social Security number to open a bank account. Okay? So these are things that you have to learn. And I've always, all these years, told everyone, walk the walk, talk the talk. Live the lifestyle like you were already out of the system, that you were lawfully free for 1 year. If you could do that, the rest is a cakewalk, folks. Right. The rest is a cakewalk. Trust me when I tell you. If you can get past the spending, because you'll no longer have credit cards. There's a lot of things that you're not going to have right in your hand. It's just not going to be there. So you use it for now like a safety net. Start living the lifestyle. Start doing things the right way. And do it before you take that lawful path, that 90-day process. And this way you know that once you do it, you're already good to go. You won't be in that panic mode, like, oh, shoot, can I do this? Can I do that? You'll know all this long ahead of time. You'll already know what to expect because you've already been living the lifestyle. You also want to check with your employer, whoever that may be. Bring it up to them. Has he ever heard of corrected status? How does he handle it if they haven't heard of it before? You'd be surprised. Many of them have. Many of them, no problem. Like Jesse's a perfect situation. She brought it up to her boss, and her boss just laughed and said, not a problem. I already have 2 state nationals working for me. Shocker. She didn't know there was state nationals that worked for them. It's not that they run around. Employers aren't going to run around advertising this stuff. Now, not every employer is going to work with you if you go and correct your status. Even though the law's on your side, they still have that option that they will not continue your employment. So these are things you want to find out before you do it, just in case you need to secure employment elsewhere beforehand. This avoids all those what ifs, because you'll have all your ducks in a row beforehand, well in advance. Right? If you're new to the learning, if you're new to the process, if you're new to the Red Amendment, or the People's Awareness Coalition or anything like that, I understand you guys are so excited and you want this done yesterday. All right? It's up to you. You're the only one that can correct your situation in order to put yourself in the proper position to correct your status. One has to come before the other. It's about taking back personal responsibility. It's about putting aside the me, and start sharing with your neighbors and getting to know your neighbors and re-solidifying the unity in your household.
Hey, David, I got a question for you.
Absolutely.
Regarding that. Okay, as you know, I've been trying to work on this since last June when I first heard of your show. Now, the question I have is, you know that my son and I get benefits because my husband's passing, okay, as far as Social Security. Now, when I become a state national, I was curious, because I know I'm going to lose my Social Security. My son just gets his through my name because he cannot have a bank account in his name because he's so little. How is that going to affect him? Because he can still get his Social Security until he's 18.
Yeah, that's something you had mentioned to me once before. We'll have to work on that and have to look into that. Because the check or the benefit is actually for the child, okay, that part shouldn't be a problem. Anything that you personally may be getting, okay, that the funds allotted to you personally, that would have to go. That would probably be removed. But I think from the child side of it, I don't think there's a problem. But because you're the first case I had like that, I've never run across it, and I'm not the one that does all the status work. LB does all that. That's something you would actually have to get together with LB on a one-to-one, and go from there. That's the best advice for you I can give you on that topic. But I don't really see any issue. It may be a little bit difficult, but not really an issue. Like I said, the benefit is being taken by the child, who until they're 18 is under the care of the state. So that's for everybody. You can't correct your status till you're over 18. So any child under 18, what their benefits are paid to them for whatever reason or from whatever department should not affect what the parent is doing in any way. Does that make sense? Hello? All right. Think I lost her.
No, I'm here. I have to deal with my son.
Oh, okay, no problem. I thought maybe I either lost you or I got disconnected there for a minute.
No, you're fine. I'll be right back. I got to deal with my son.
No problem. Hey, kid comes first. But anyway, That's what it's all about, folks. You have to take baby steps. Everybody's excited. We have a lot going on. I'm also in the process of putting together the first annual Pack Festival here in Florida, and as that it becomes more and more organized, and we get all the paperwork in order, and whatever the counties may require, and so on and so forth. But it should be at the way things are looking, it's going to turn out to be a very large event, and we're encouraging others that if they're too far from the Central Florida, we're looking in the Orlando area. It seems to be central to everybody to get together with a couple of people from the coalition. Don't have to be state national folks. I'm not talking about that degree, but just get together with them and see if it's something they'd be interested in or would like to help put together. Doesn't have to be on a giant scale. I started out doing this as a little long weekend gathering for friends and family to get together, for us to meet each other, all this and whatnot. That's how it all started, and within a few days, I've had people come to me and tell me that oh boy, what a day. Coming to me and they're like, oh, well, I have this skill and I have that skill, and the drawing a blank. So I got people already signing up and volunteering their time, and going to have stands. We're going to have food stands. We're going to have airbrushing stations. We got local bands already asking to come on board, and we don't even have an exact location or date or anything yet. And I got all these people coming out of the woodwork. So it's just a word of mouth. It was a passing thought, something I thought about a long time ago, but never brought to anybody else's attention, and was talking with a couple other people. And the next thing you know, boom, overnight, everything just fell together. I got people coming out of the woodwork, just offering up everything and anything they can. We're putting together a Skype room for anybody who's wants to help with ideas and contributions and so on and so forth. So just like I said, this went from what could have been a little tiny weekend of a handful of families hanging out, barbecuing and maybe trying to sell a couple of TRAs or something at one of the local markets, at a gathering kind of deal, into this phenomenal potential here. Right? That's all I'm saying, folks. And of course, I will keep you guys updated as we get more information and we get all our I's dotted and T's crossed and dates set up. And we'd love to see you join us. Of course, if you're too far away and you can't, that's all right too. Try to get something started in your area. It just takes one with an idea, and put that idea out there, and the next thing you know, hopefully, just like with what happened to me, you'll have people volunteering all over the place to bring their skills and talents to the table. Before we jump in and start picking Jesse's brain here and start getting into some of the bow and arrow stuff. So anyway, with that being said, Jesse is back. Nope, guess she's still off with the child. Oh, yep, she'll be back in a second. No worries, kiddo, no worries. I think she said she was going to try to drop some links for you guys. I hope she accomplished that. Oh, don't see anything over to BTR. Maybe she decided not to.
I did. I put it over in the Freedom Reigns, dude.
Oh, all right, good job.
I can't get on VTR because Firefox is slow and stupid on my laptop.
Oh, no worries. All good. Not a problem. But anyway, we were talking about, Jesse's been working on it, very excited the last few weeks. She wants to get into bows and arrows. So what got you all excited about this to begin with, Jess?
As far as archery?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, my husband passed away last year, and I needed something to keep my mind off of his death and him not being here. And A friend of mine in North Powder had given me a taste of elk, and that was it. I was done, and that was pretty much what sold me on going out and being a hunter. I got the taste of elk, and it tasted yummy.
Yeah, amen to that. I like that myself. So so besides the hunting aspect of it, so how did you start? I'm sure you just didn't run out, grab your first bow, and run out into the woods, right?
No, actually, I had a couple of my friends from church. They own a shop here in town, and they had shown me how to use one. I'd used one before back in a long time ago when I was in Girl Scouts, but that was, it was a while ago. And just, I don't know, I just started getting into it, like I said, after my husband passed away.
That's cool. So how long was it before you got your first kill?
I haven't yet. I'm actually hoping to get one this year. My current boyfriend is a archery hunter as well, and we're going to go out and we're going to be doing a lot of hunting this year. So turkey season opens up out here in Eastern Oregon on the 15th of this month, and we're going to go ahead and get our licenses and hopefully get us a couple of wild turkeys this season. That's just the start of it.
Outstanding. Yeah, that's excellent. Just practice, practice, practice. Pull out the targets in the backyard or wherever, and practice makes perfect.
Yep. And even if you, like me, for example, I don't live in a city. I live in a small rural town of under 1,300 people. So or not 13, but 13,000, under 13,000 people. So it's small. It's not too tiny like the one I lived in before, which is 1,700. But even if you live in a big city, that doesn't mean you can come over here in my mountains and take my resources. I don't like that. But you can go over to, say, a friend that's got an acre or so, whatever. Even it doesn't even have to be an acre, as long as that you can shoot 40, 50 yards, then you're good to go. It's not. We even have archery ranges. These are different. Because I live in the mountains, I take advantage of that, and I go up into the mountains, and I'll take my target, or I'll go to the archery range that we have out on Mount Emily, or whatever, and we'll go out and we'll, I'll go out and shoot and do stuff like that out there. It's all the, it's easy. It's not that hard.
So in the technique, once you learn the technique, you just start practicing it and becoming more and more comfortable with it.
Yes, you need to first. You got to find out. There's a bunch of things to do as far as archery. You need your dominant hand, eye, your bow length. There's just so much that you need to learn before you even. You can pick up a bow and look at it and say, "Oh, hey, that's pretty," but you need to figure out how much weight you can pull on it. Right now, currently, I used to be at 52 pounds, and then I had to drop back down to 45 because it's been 6 months since I've actually pulled my bow. But you need to figure out the pounds you can pull. It's just there's so many different things you need to figure out first. So I would recommend at first going into archery shop, whether it be in a small town or whether you're in a big city, whatever. Go to an archery shop and get that information done and taken care of before you do anything stupid.
Awesome. Good advice, folks. And look around, too. Usually these are off the beaten path, just like your gun ranges and stuff. But almost every town or within a reasonable travel distance from you, believe it or not, more than likely have some sort of archery range set up somewhere. Now, it may cost you a fee to get in, but they usually also have, I know down here, especially in New Jersey and stuff, we had them. And what you do is, Pennsylvania, I know, have them as well. And what you do is you go out there and you can actually get an instructor for the day. They'll usually gather up 4 or 5 people and take you out, and you'll have a hands-on-hand, instructions of what to do, proper stance, proper holding techniques, and just help you perfect your own technique. The bow is an exciting thing. It's been with us. Well, give us some of the history on it. The bow has been around forever. We've always known the natives here. That's all they had long before, the horses and guns were brought into the picture here in the on the land here in America. Everything was bows and arrows, and somebody had to teach someone else how to do it. I'm sure they just didn't wake up in the morning and say, "Okay, let me go out there and bend a twig and wind it up and see what I can do with it." Well, maybe that's how it started. That's how most inventions start. You want to try to accomplish something. You want to try to do something, and you try to figure a way to doing it. So you get what is the history that you found so far on the bow and the arrow?
That is the only site that I did not pull up. You would have to ask me that too. Well, from what I had read, it might be in this one here. Let me look. No, it's not this one. How to make it? It wasn't the Native Americans that first had it, as a lot of people think. It was originated in England, and there was another country it was originated from too. France, I think. I don't remember, but I know for sure it was England, and it was some part of other Eastern Hemisphere countries, not Africa. I think, yeah, thank you. It might be it too, Africa. So there's about 3 or 4 of them that had. I don't remember exactly which ones, and I can't find that website right now. Anyway, you would have to ask me when I'm. That's the only thing I'm not prepared on, but otherwise I'm good to go. As far as the history, like where they came from and stuff, that one I can give you, but I didn't get a chance to look up the rest of the history on it because I didn't have time.
Oh, no problem.
Because I was too busy sitting here reading these other ones, too, when I would get home at night. It's like, oh, hey, cool. So, yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about the web, folks. I mean, when you're new to something, if you're trying to figure something else out, there's so much we can learn from each other and from the web. It's just a matter of somebody lighting that fire under us or giving us that reason to start. And that's how we turn our laziness around, just by getting into something. Get into a hobby, but make it a hobby not only that you enjoy, something that's going to produce and preferably a consumable product. So you have growing, you have hunting. I don't know what else can you get into hobby wise. I'm trying to think here that would benefit you and save you that out of pocket expense. But there's so many things that you can do out there. But get away from the television. Find that hobby, whether it's painting, puzzles, running, jogging, nature walks, anything. Preferably something that's going to get you physically motivated. So, of course, painting, not so much. Doing puzzles, not so much. Models, not so much. They're great hobbies. I love doing all of those, actually. But you need to find something to do the physical aspect of things. Okay? Because if you don't get your body moving, you're going to stay motionless. You're going to stay in that lazy mode. Everyone has heard that old expression: a body in motion tends to stay in motion. And the beauty about painting and doing puzzles or any activity like that you physically do with your hands, be it growing, hunting, you see the result. There's something there to strive for. Fishing, same thing. I used to do fishing. I was clamming. I did crabbing. I did all that stuff growing up, and still do when I get a chance to go out there and do that. So, I mean, there's just so many things that you can do that, one, are fun and enjoyable, and two, that is going to get you outside. That's going to get you moving and just simply motivated. Start turning around that laziness, if you will, of the way of the way that we currently are. Yeah, Jesse. Yeah, I read Jesse just popped in. You did find something on the history of it. Thank you for sharing that link there with us.
No problem. That's what I was looking for earlier. So that's it's just, if you look at it. Sorry to interrupt you, Doc. If you look at it, there's a bunch of different links you can click on and stuff. And like I said, I was here the last few nights after my boyfriend dropped me off, whatever. I'd sit here and I would look at the things I click on the different things, and I'd read them 2 or 3 times. So that's what I looked at. Feel free to do whatever if this interests you. If not, whatever.
There you go. Yeah, so like you said, yeah, of course it didn't start with the Indians. Like you said, most people may have that belief. I don't think it's so much that it was a belief that it started with them, but I think they utilized it the most. I mean, that's the impression I got when I was, just thinking about it, and of course, probably over there in Africa and places like that, because it was necessity. It was a means. In other words, it wasn't a sport. It was the way they hunted their game. It was for food, for survival. It wasn't a sport. And of course, anything that becomes a tool to make life easier for the time gets utilized. If they find out of it, they're going to utilize it. Just like the Native American Indians did. Somebody, I'm sure, probably came over to trade with them at one time from Europe or wherever. Because, folks, if you haven't figured it out by now, Christopher Columbus did not discover America. Okay? But I'm sure somebody from the trade from the other lands came over, and they traded the furs and whatnot that the Indians may have had, or were their beads or jewelry, whatever the case may be. And I'm sure somebody showed up just like they did with the horse and the guns, and traded with them, and then the Indians took it from there and probably actually perfected a lot of it, especially made it perfected it in the aspect that was most usable for their purposes. In other words, and that's the beauty about something. You take somebody else's invention and add to it, improve it to more benefit yourself. And I'm sure that's what they did. And that's why throughout history we hear so much about the natives, because they probably utilized it the most, or the most mentioned in history anyway that I'm aware of. But it's not that hard to do. You look into the history of things. If you get excited about the topic, you want to know as much as you can of it. That's available out there, and the web is a perfect place for that. You also said you got into learning how to make your own.
I haven't quite gotten to do that yet, but I am hoping to do that very soon. And the websites that I posted in the Freedom Reigns chat are the websites I looked at. Favorite one would probably be me, bow and arrow, the wildwoodsurvival.com one. That one is the one I was up reading 3 or 4 times last few nights, because it's just, it goes into depth and detail as to the types of wood, how all of it. And I'm hoping to take this and print it out one of these days, so that way I can go out sometime this summer and actually make one and see how well it works. I don't mind my my compound bow. I don't mind it at all. If I'm out in the woods or something and I'm out hunting and it breaks, I gotta figure out what the hell to do. So just trying to extra over prepare myself for the summer when I'm out hunting, I guess.
Well, not why not? But right? So you only carry so much weight with you. So in that, you need to improvise. Learn to sharpen a spear. Shaped, but it's important, like you said, to get the right bend and switch. make it tonight.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, I'm getting a horrible connection here. It's been raining all day long, and so my internet's in, it's out, it's in, it's out. I've been off doing stuff today, so I'm running late. I'm so sorry, everybody. I really wanted to make the show because I really wanted to hear what Jesse has to say about these bows. I do know there's an old bow making form where you have to actually take an entire tree branch, a nice thick one. I don't remember if it's out of cedar, salt cedar, or pine or oak. I would think oak would probably be the best because it's the heaviest and strongest.
You can do oak, pine. You can do all three of them, brother. It doesn't matter which one you use as long as you know how to make it. It's got to deal with water and shaping it and all that other stuff too, but any of those will work really well.
Right, and it's the cooking of it in the ground. You know, like you do your deep pit barbecues, it's the same thing with the bow. It's just that you leave it there for like 2 whole days, you know, so that it tempers with the heat that you started in the ground, and then it has to cool off with that at that same rate as the ground cools off.
Yep. And it's in the thing that I had read about the link I posted in the chat room. It's got all that information in there too. It depends on the kind of wood you have, this, that, and the other. So go ahead. I'm not trying to interrupt.
No, it's just I'd like to see if I could make a recurve. You know, that's the really fancy shaped one. Looks like the that symbol.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah. And they have also in the, you know what, if you want me to, brother, I'll go ahead and I'll give you the link and your Skype. I can do that for you because they have on how to make a recurve bow too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because
so if you want, I'll go ahead and I'll put that in your Skype.
I've got an old compound bow. It's an old metal one. And this thing, when I run all the strings correctly, oh my God, is it hard to pull. And I'm not a weak guy, but, you know, this thing's set for like, I don't know how many thousands of pounds of pressure or something. I don't know. I'm not really good with a bow. I'm good with a gun. I'm good with a knife. I'm okay with a sword, but I'm not very good with the bow. I'm better with rocks. You know the old slingshot? The old long string slingshot where you would hold it and you spin it round and round and round. And yeah, that's the kind of slingshot I'm used to. Not the new ones with the rubber strings and all that. Those don't really hardly do anything. You want a good slingshot that'll do some damage. You make yourself one of the old leather corded ones where you do the spinning thing. And if you set that between 2 and 3 feet in length, depending on your arm or your preference, yeah, you can do some serious damage. You can take down a deer with leg letters. I've seen it done. I got a cousin that did it one hunting season. He only took the slingshot out there because I had it hanging on the wall. And he goes, "Oh, I'm pretty good with this. I used to play with these when I was a kid." I said, "Okay." Yeah. And he took it out there, and yeah, we seen a buck, and it was just close enough. He took that out, spun it a few times, popped that rock out there, and knocked the buck right in the head. Killed him. He didn't need to use a gun that year. But it takes a lot of practice to get good on those things, especially with the bow. But I want to hear some more about what you were talking about, Jesse.
Which one?
The recurve bow and all that, shooting.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, okay, well, I'm not sure where to start this off at or anything, but in that website that I put in your Skype and into the chat room, I was going to ask you, Doc, did you want me to give it to you, or did you get it from the chat room?
I got it from you.
Okay.
So are you, I mean, are you tentative about making your own bow, or?
Well, when you talked to me about it last week, I sat down and sorry, my son's, like, needing to go down for a nap, and he's, like, totally fighting it, so I apologize. When you made mention of it we had done that brief little chit-chatting about it last week, I sat down and I thought about it, and it's like I said earlier, if I'm out in the woods somewhere, my bow snaps or whatever, and I'm totally screwed, I want to be able to figure out how to fix that. And so that's when I started looking at it and wanting to it wasn't until I actually started looking at this that I actually wanted to try to make my own, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if I'm out in the woods or something, I'm hunting and my bow snaps, dude, I'm screwed. I have nothing to I'm done. I have no way to fix it, nothing. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to read up on this, blah, 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 whatever. And so that's what I've been doing. So if you look, Jose, in your, in that, the link I put in your Skype, it will probably not halfway down, I don't know, about after like the second illustrations, it'll say recurved bow. That right there will give you, because you said you're interested in making one of those. It not illustrates, but it's in this 1, 2, like 5 or 6 paragraph little deal. Did I lose y'all?
Well, about halfway down, you said.
Yeah, it's approximately halfway down. Yeah, it's not exactly halfway, but it's about halfway down because it'll have the illustrations of like where to put the hand grip and the center line and the difference between a narrow bow and a wide bow, and then go down and then you'll see a recurve bow, and that little section right there, as well as the section that says long bow, self bow, or straight bow. Those 2 sections will teach you how to make the recurve bow, which is what you said you wanted to do. So,
yeah, I think a recurve bow would be awesome. They do give you a little bit better distance, and it does have some better impact when you shoot it. That's the whole theory behind the current bows, is the snaps and the performance and the distance and all that stuff. It's just, like I said, there's so much to it anymore. It's actually a science.
Yep.
Here's the part that I was going to ask you about is the sinew. You don't need just the sinew for backing your bow, but you need to use sinew for the cording of your bow, and that's something that I've never really gotten into either. I don't even know where I'd start to get sinew that long, because you're going to have what, 4 or 5 feet worth?
Depending on the size of the bow, like I said before, you need to measure yourself out before you even think about making your bow, or it's not going to work right. But yeah, I'd read that too. I had read that when I read under the bowstring section. It said that you'll be using sinew in most cases for it, which that's fine. Whatever. I planned on doing that anyway. So.
Well, if you can't find sinew,
it depends on how long you make your bow, and I'm not sure exactly how long the string needs to be either. Maybe I should have done more research before I even did this. Ha ha ha! Laugh at me. Everybody else does.
Well, if you can't find sinew, I will recommend using what the Army calls 550 cord. Now, 550 cord is a strange animal because it only comes in one thickness, and that's about 3/16 of an inch in thickness. So the back of your arrow is going to be very wide. but your knock, the knock in the air is going to be wide if you're going to use 550 cord. But it will hold 550 pounds worth of pressure. And if you run your cord correctly, you'll never pop that. It'll never break. You know, it's so strong. I have seen some amazing stuff done with this. I've hung horse, horse weight with this stuff for years, not just a little while. Big, huge weights, hang them up on the rafters in the house or in one of the old storage sheds that I had. And it's just, I happen to have some when I got home from the army, and they're still hanging if I remember correctly. But that's how tough that 550 cord is. It's really good stuff. If you can't get a hold of sinew, going down to, say, Walmart or an army surplus store, a military surplus store, and just ask them for some heavy cord, 550 cord. You'll know it when you see it. It looks like a very thin rope. It looks like a very thin climbing rope. And it's just tough. That's some of the toughest stuff I've ever seen. So in place of sinew, you can do that. Now I've got a small roll which still has the packaging on it. Well, it wasn't small. It's actually a couple thousand feet. But it's called 550 paracord. Is what I've got that I use at this time, but it's the same thing. It's a 7-strand core. It's very tough stuff, and it's not very expensive. For this particular 1,000-foot package of 550 paracord, I paid $99. It's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. You get that much cordage, and you can do a lot with it. I have made gun slings out of it, for my rifles that didn't have a sling on them. And they're very comfortable and kind of adjustable. You do have to have some sort of a hand at weaving, but that's easy stuff to learn. All it takes is a little bit of imagination, and boom, you've got yourself a sling. And it can be, you can make it tailor-made for yourself and your rifle, or you can make it adjustable. Now, that's one of those hard things to do, but it's doable. It's totally doable. What else is the next subject? What else do we get to talk about tonight?
Well, I was going to say, you guys can go ahead and go without me if you want to or whatever. I need to get off this thing. I got to finish taking care of some things. I got a 10-hour road trip ahead of me this weekend, so.
Where are you going?
I have to go back to hell where I came from because my boyfriend's got to go pick up his bow, and I've got a couple other things I need to get done that I didn't get done last weekend, so.
Oh, Jess. Okay,
I know.
well, just try.
You guys, I really do. Don't get butthurt at me.
Never.
Well, just try to enjoy it.
I will. We plan on going camping and stuff like that, too, so it's not like I'm just going to sit there and go to that stupid city for, the weekend. Dude, I hate that place. Anyway, go ahead, sorry. Dude, I can rant and rave about that stupid hellhole all day.
And we're just glad you're able to join us and at least hopefully spark some of the interest to check it out. Do some more research to get to this stuff. It's all of the.
I was just gonna say maybe we can do this again, a little later on down the road, and I'll have a lot more information. Number one, and number two, there was an idea that I had, and I was going to share it with you guys, and I totally forgot what it was. But we could sit down and do it again, and maybe this time I'll actually have more information as far as this, as well as a few other things too. So I apologize for it not. This is not the way I wanted it to be tonight. I'm sorry.
No worries, dude. You did good. Not a problem. It's just a matter here. We're just trying to get people interested and give them different ideas on how to, survive. Really,
I know that, darling.
tough situation, and these are just alternative ideas, and plus they're hobbies. Get into hunting yourself, please go with it. Like almost anything we come in on the show, it always comes down to the simplest thing is your own imagination. That's limited to. It's the greater imagination you have, the more things you can figure out how to do. Just like lake craft, uh, just having just a couple of props with you when you head out, like in your bug out bag or even out, for the weekend or something like that. That paracord is excellent stuff. I usually get. I think the cords I was looking at, Jose, I think it was 50 feet, and they were like $6-7. And they come in 50 feet length, you get 100 feet, so on and so forth. But they're lightweight, they're super strong. There's so much you can do with them. It's always great, hey, for $7, you can't go wrong. You take it and, stick it in your bucket bag. There's so much you can do with it. Not only that, but it's strong and to hold your weight. You can even utilize it to make a makeshift hammock out of. Okay, you can make a hammock, get up off the ground that way, out in the woods. You could, use it to make traps. You can, just limit it to, what your own creativity, what you can come up with. And that's the beauty about all this, folks, is just to give you an idea, things to look into, things to consider. Just plant that seed in the back of your minds out there to, encourage you to do something, try something new. Do not be afraid to, get out there, to reach out and just give it a shot. Just be safe, enjoy it, and eventually, if it's something you're into, you never know where it's going to bring you. I guess love you too. Be safe out there, kiddo. Thanks again for joining us here tonight. But that's pretty much what the show's all about, folks. We're trying to give you light lessons, things that are going to help you down the line, things that you may not have thought of before, things that may, plant that seed and encourage you to try something new. Don't be afraid to try something new. You don't have to run out and buy a bunch of equipment in order to try something. There's places all over that you can go and just go for the day. You never shot a gun before, go to a gun range. They got, especially the indoor range and stuff, they have weapons there you can rent for the day. You go in there, you give them a shot. They'll even give you the basic instruction on what to do, how to do it. So they give you all that stuff. Same with archery. Go check out an archery range. Even if they don't have somebody there that can rent them to you or an instructor on hand, most people, when they're in their element like that, such as an archery range or a gun range, or even experience the same thing in boating, they're not the same type. That you may meet that same person on the street, okay, the same stranger on the street, and they won't give you the same time of day. But meet them on their ground, if you will. Just go hang out. Say, hey, look, I've never shot a bow before. Can you show me a few things? And they will more than gladly, here, boom, here's my bow. This is how you do it, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with the gun range. Hey, I never shot that particular weapon before. Hey, man, come on over here, Jay. Knock yourself out. Give it a shot. It's a different kind of attitude, different kind of atmosphere, I guess, because you're in that same element and it's a closed topic. They're not worried about, you don't have to worry about watching your P's and Q's. None of that stuff kind of comes into play when you're in that ballpark. Have you ever experienced any of those type of situations with any event? I don't know what I'm getting at, what I'm talking about here. But don't be afraid to go out there and check it out. Go spend a couple hours down there watching everybody, talking to people, and get different ideas and say, look, I'm considering, buying a gun or a bow or whatever the case may be, and just want to know more about it. Trust me, these people, if people love to talk, especially about if it's a topic that they're passionate about. You just need to get them going.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't be afraid to ask the question because once you ask that question, boy, all kinds of doors and possibilities open up to you. We have become for some reason, a society of walking on eggshells. I guess I don't know. I just don't. It's something I just can't explain, but I'm sure you know where I'm trying to get to and where I'm coming from. But when you know the topic at a time, when you're at an event, like an archery or a gun range, everybody there is there for one reason. Yeah, they're there to shoot. They're there to have a good time. They're there to socialize. So obviously that topic would be guns at the gun range, archery is at the archery, uh, horses at the horse farm, growing at the farm, growing crops at a growing farm. So don't be afraid to approach these kind of people. you just like I'm sure you experience yourself, you're passionate about excuse me, a particular topic. And if somebody starts asking about that topic, well, you jump right in there, don't you? Boom, I can't shut you up once I get you started. Everybody's experienced that at some point in their life. So, like I said, don't be afraid to try new things, folks. Put the fears aside, put the biases and the BS all aside, and start enjoying life again. Getting back to the basics. That's what it's all about. Don't worry about the law. Don't worry about the status. Don't worry about start at the beginning. This is all important stuff. Don't get me wrong. But lately, it's just been such an outcry of everybody. Oh, I want to get this done. I can't take it anymore. Their eyes are open, and now they got that hunger, but they're rushing. They're trying to get it done right away. And the problem is when you do that, it's too easy to make that mistake, to sign that document or check that wrong box. Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. It's just too easy because we've done it our whole lives. To make that mistake, and then once you do, folks, guess what? You just threw all your studies, your status correction, everything right out the window. You literally, by that one little simple check mark, you put yourself right back to square one. So that's why it's so important. Get the basics down, and if you want to be free, you need to take those steps. You need to be able to feed yourself above everything else. If you can't feed yourself, you can always be relying on someone else in some manner, fashion, just like the Bible has taught us. Yeah, feed a man today, he's going to be looking for food tomorrow. Teach him to fish, and tomorrow he can feed himself. That's where it's going. Whether it's fishing, boating, hunting, sports, don't do it for me, but teach me how to do it. And that's really what it comes down to. I'm up for a break. How about yourself there, Jose? Unless you got something else on your mind that's aching to get out.
Honestly, I really don't have anything other than normal BS that we normally go over on the world news and all that kind of stuff. I'm so sick. Oh yeah, it's just one thing after another. I see it every day. I'm tired of it. I'd rather listen to a song, honestly.
There you go. Yeah, that's what it is, folks. This time of year, it's about getting away from the madness. I mean, what's going to happen is going to happen. We have very little control over it, so I work on it. Yeah, we still want to keep an eye on them as far as the law stuff. In that aspect, but the rest of it, Nah, it's time to put that away. It's springtime. It's time to get renewing of life. Get out there and enjoy the warm weather, the fresh air, and all the rest that goes with it. The summertime play, the pools, hanging with the kids, throwing the football around. No, we don't need to hear all the craziness. We get enough of that in our daily lives. Especially when we're trapped inside in the winter time or uh, rainy and bad days. Look for those hobbies. Get into something, and preferably something that's going to be beneficial to you. Just remember, folks, for every tomato you grow, that's one less you got to buy. And that goes for anything you may grow. For anything you can make yourself, that's one less thing you got to buy. So all these things add up, and you'd be surprised how you can, especially once you get debt free, which is the key, and become independent. Uh, you get rid of that debt, and you'd be surprised how little you need to work income wise to bring in income to cover expenses, because everything that you're able to do for yourself, all that you would have paid out for those items, now gets put right back in your pocket for other things. So it's just it's a win-win situation all the way around, folks. From growing to hunting to trapping to just being self-sufficient. And then, of course, you can take even the next step and get into alternative power sources, your wind, your solars, thermal. There's just so much you can really do. There's weekend projects out there where you can learn to make your DIY type of stuff. To learn to build your own solar dishes, your own wind power stations. How to build a battery bank for it. How to you know, build anything. Build a greenhouse. There's directions out there on the web. There's books all over the place. I'm waiting for a very particular book that's been around. As a matter of fact, I think it just came up on its 40th or 50th anniversary edition. I think it was just released not that long ago. And I'll be sharing a lot of information in there. And I'll get you all that information and a link here shortly. I dropped that link there in both the chat rooms that I was mentioning in that book. It's the Encyclopedia of Country Living. And yes, it's in its 40th anniversary edition. Tell you folks, from what I hear, it is the greatest book ever written. It's the only book you'll ever need. I can't wait to get my copy. And it literally has everything you will ever need on everything. It's the most complete source. This is a write-up here. It's the most complete source of information about growing, processing, cooking, and preserving homegrown foods from the garden, orchard, field, or barnyard. For more than 30 years, people have relied on its practical step-by-step advice on basic self-sufficiency skills, such as how to cultivate a garden, buy land, bake bread, raise farm animals, make sausage, milk a goat, grow herbs, churn butter, build a chicken coop, cook on a wood stove, and much, much more. I am just so excited. I've seen parts of it, and I just can't wait to get my copy. I just really can't wait. It literally is the only book you'll ever need. It's got tons of recipes in there. There's all kinds of, it's just every topic you can think of under the sun when it comes to country living, or basically self-sufficiency. And that's what freedom's all about, folks. Being that self-sufficient, being that independent. That's what it's truly like to be free. Right? As long as you got to rely on somebody else to feed you or clothe you or make $1, you're not truly free. Yeah, you may have paper that says, yeah, I'm a state national, I'm free. But if any of those other things are in the way, you're not free. Totally. And without, as you take these steps to accomplish all these possibilities, not only are you increasing your income, your knowledge, your freedom, but you're getting back to truly what the Creator's intention was. That self-reliance. And your spirit, spiritually, we will grow. I'm not talking religion, folks. I'm not talking about, this God or that God or whatever God you may worship. Going above that thought, above that mindset. Okay? It's about getting back to the basics, getting back in touch with our truths within. Getting back to nature, if you will. And that is definitely the most highly recommended book for anyone and everyone. Okay? No matter if you're new to any of this, whether you're a novice or an expert, this is the book for you. And if you're an expert, the odds are you already have your copy of it, or somebody had given it to you as possibly a wedding gift. And it does, folks. I wish somebody had given me this book as a wedding gift. And I know many people who have this book that's how they got their copy. They got it when they got married. It was given to them as a gift, and they cherished it, and still do cherish it. It's something you will turn to time and time again. Whether you're male or female, don't be afraid to learn new things, and that includes sewing. Again, clothing, making clothing. Nowadays the mindset is, that was a woman's job. Really? Okay. Well, you're a hunter and skinner. Learn to turn those skins, take those skins, make them into clothing. Don't limit yourself to the possibilities that surround you. If you've never been introduced to that kind of stuff, just start. And you'll come across somebody who does that. Somebody who is a hunter, that will more than gladly take you out and show you the ropes and teach you how to hunt, whether it's with, a gun or a bow or other, such as trapping. People love to share their passions, folks. And that's what it's all about. Just finding something. Because you never know what your passion is going to be, or, if you like something or don't like something until you try it. And that's the point. Try it. You might like it. Just like our parents used to tell us. How do you know you don't like your peas if you've never had them before, or whatever the case may be. Don't be afraid to try new things, folks. That's all we're trying to teach you. All right? Don't be afraid to ask for help. You're interested in something. Do a little background. Do a little research on the internet. That's only part of it. That's not going to give you the hands-on. That's not going to be able to correct any error that may come up. And the best way to learn is from first-hand knowledge. And where do you get that? You don't get that in a book. You don't get that, looking things up on the internet. You get that by going out there and talking to those who have done it before you, whether farming, hunting, or other. Don't learn from a book. It's great to start there. Try to get your juices flowing and stuff. But when it comes down to it, until you get out there and, turn the soil, get your hands dirty, or pick up that fishing pole, or whatever the case may be, you need that firsthand experience, that firsthand knowledge. And the best way to get that is from somebody who's been there and done that, who's already paved that pathway for you, and is willing to share that information with. Got anything on your mind there, Jose?
Actually, there was a couple of things. One of them pertained to law, something that I read earlier, and I wanted to talk about that, but not this week. That's for next week, because I want to delve into it deeper. The only other thing that I can say is, yeah, it's true. I mean, come on, even if you're a very highly experienced and skilled mountain man, you know as well as I do that when it comes to trapping, there's always a better way. Someone always has a better, slicker, easier way to do it. And most of the time they get, just as good results as they would have in any otherwise. When it comes to hunting, there's always a better way. There's always an easier way, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Don't limit yourself on what you do. Look at different avenues. There was a guy, I forget what his name is or anything like that, but the details of what he did do stand out. He had these fish traps made out of vines that he collected in the woods, and they're circular fish traps, conical actually, and he lived off those traps for I don't know how long, something like 2 or 3 years while he was teaching, and he was a professor, or he was teaching in college. So, yeah, see, don't limit yourself in what you do. There's always more to learn. There's always more to apply, let's say. If you're ever in need of answers, the answers are always there. Sometimes they can be found in your own imagination. Sometimes they can be found in books, yeah. Sometimes maybe you need to talk to somebody. But, be creative. Be creative with what you have. Be creative with what you already know. And makes things a lot simpler. It really does. I've built some very interesting things out of wire that probably shouldn't have been made out of wire. But it suited the purpose at that moment. Barbed wire does not make a very good belt, but I tell you what, it'll keep your pants up in a pinch. Just throwing it out there. Another one.
So, yeah, we're over here talking in chat. Try it, do you like it? You never know that you like it. And the comment came up from Chris about the liver and how wrong his dad was on that one. Good, try the liver, you may like it. Well, he was wrong on that one, he didn't like it. And of course, police started chiming in there with, oh yeah, liver, with onions and whatnot. And I threw in, of course, the bacon, liver and bacon and onions, and all of a sudden I'm getting hungry. So yeah, we're over here talking about different dishes and the concept of how you just don't know. Your tastes are always changing. Your taste buds change constantly, even as more so when you're younger and leading into your teens. But throughout your whole lifetime, what you didn't like one day, you may like another, and a lot of it has to do in the prep. how you prepare a product. The other key to all that, it comes down to, and if you got a garden, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever had fresh grown, produce, it's a difference between night and day, folks. You may not like a certain, I don't like, a particular veggie. Oh, I just don't like that. Well, when you grow your own, or know somebody that grows it, go get it fresh and then try it. Don't think about it, just do it. And then see if you still don't like that particular item. Because I know with me, like, there's certain things I just can't eat from the store. To me, I won't even waste my money on it. But give me that same item that somebody else prepared, and it was, came right out of their, garden or off their farm, or from their livestock, whatever the case may be. Well, I'm all over that. It's two totally different tastes. Same product. It's the way it was prepared and processed and grown and all that. Totally changes the taste of it. Plus, then you start getting growing, you start doing all kinds of cool things, and get to that another night where you can kind of, plant hot pepper, close to your tomatoes. It might give you a little kick, things like that. Tricks of the trade, if you will. So don't be afraid to try different things. Don't limit yourself because they're always changing. The flavor of things from fresh grown to store bought is different between night and day, folks. And that goes for any product. Those who hunt, they understand this. They're not going to go. Very rarely will you ever see a hunter at a grocery store buying meat, or a grower of fruits and vegetables buying vegetables at a grocery store. Not happening. Because they just can't stand the taste of it. They've gotten that taste of the fresh. And they know what it's like. They know where it came from. They know what's in it. There isn't the chemicals and the poisons and the GMO crap and all the rest that goes with all that shit. It's not there. And it's the difference between night and day. Can't say enough about that. So go out there this weekend, if you got nothing else going on, go out there and drop a couple of pennies, get yourself a pot, soil, and grow something. Anything that you will eat. Because once you start and you actually try that product, it comes up, and the excitement of watching it grow and watering it and tending to it and taking care of it. Finally sit down and make your first dish, whether it's a salad or something you're cooking with that item, that product. You'll never go back. You'll get that hunger. You're not going to run down to the grocery store anymore to buy that. No way. So to keep in mind. And like I said, folks, you only limit it to your own imagination. But you try it, you're going to like it. Final thoughts, Jose. I think we're going to replay that song I introduced you guys to earlier because it was such a great song. So I want to I'll play that song to take us out for this evening.
My final thoughts?
Yeah.
This is the year. I'm almost 100% sure. I'm at like 75, 80% sure that this is the year that we've all been dreading would arrive. And so now it's time to start stop practicing, or at least start practicing, start doing, and no longer just talking about it. There's nothing left. It's now. It's here. The whole mess is culminating. It's going to reach its apex this year. I'm dead sure of it.
Yeah, I've been feeling the same way myself there, my friend, and that's why, I kind of get away from the law side of things and start getting back to basics, because if you ain't growing, you ain't living. And if you ain't feeding yourself, being independent, you're never free. And that's the bottom line, folks.
Yep. Other than that, peace to everyone.
Amen, absolutely. Sorry for the long-windedness of tonight's show. We're kind of shooting from the hip here and trying to hit on just different things and trying to get you, introduced to a couple of topics that you may not have considered before. So I hope it wasn't too boring for you all. And as always, I want to thank you for joining us, especially over there in our chat rooms. There's been some good chats going on back and forth. All the guests over there on Blog Talk Radio. And, of course, our regular group who try to join us for each and every show. Bayou 21, pleased to meet you. Chris and a few others that were in earlier that had to scoot on out earlier on during the show. We thank you all for joining us here each and every time you have a chance. Please, as always, keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming, and share it with everyone. If you have a great recipe for something, we're in that time of year, you have a thought or a family secret you want to share on growing or a particular recipe or canning, anything, folks, please call in and share, everyone. With that being said, we're going to play the song we played earlier. Fantastic song. It's definitely a regular song that I play here on this show, and I'm sure others will pick it up from there. Check the video over there on YouTube. It's called Time. Peace to you all. Keep growing. Thoughts. God bless all. Good night.